Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I am back in another video, and today I have not used that intro in such a long time, and that's because, it's kind of like one of those things where you're trying to not be like, hey guys, it's me. Like, a lot of people don't really use that intro. But anyway, it's been a while since I made a video. I did a Beachcomber retrospective recently, and I did my Transformers news video, which I have to get back into getting into the groove of doing those again. Because there's just been a lot of stuff happening. And if you haven't known, this past weekend was TFCon in Orlando. And boy, did I have a blast. You can probably hear it. My voice is still recovering from the aftermath of having so much fun and laughing and giggling and just running around and seeing everything that you could see and not wanting the weekend to end. But I also wanted to talk about that in addition to my experience on the History Channel with the Toys That Built America. If you're not aware, I was on the Toys That Built America for their Season 3 premiere, the Transforming Toy Invasion, and it was like, look, Ma, I'm on TV. And I'm going to get into the nitty gritty about how that went down and, what I thought of the episode. And I'm also going to, go over my hauls and what have you, what I got and the fun that I had at TFCon and whether or not I definitely recommend going to a convention like that and what this community really means to me and how it has affected me to really build up the resolve to make more content. I'm going to be frank with you. I've been kind of feeling down on myself recently and, trying to get my, script writing and getting more Transformers retrospectives done. And it's just been on the slower side and kind of been feeling down on myself. Not going to lie. But, you get through it. So, how did this all go down? Well, for starters, over the summer, the A&E had contacted me because they had seen my interviews with Bob Budiansky and Jim Shooter, and they were really impressed about my Transformers knowledge, and they wanted to interview me over Zoom about what I knew about Transformers, about the history of the brand, the things that even they didn't even know. And it was very fascinating that I was able to relay so much information to them. It was kind of like an information overload. I want to say overlord, but that's a Transformer. I'm going to shoot very straight with this video. I'm going to be not really going to cut out my mistakes. I'm just going to throw stuff out there at the wind and just see where it lands, right? So, I'll put some pictures up on the screen because there's some really cool stuff that ended up happening. So, as I was going through the interview and explaining to them with the Tokyo Toy Show and where the whole intro of the Transformers came and where that began, and it was even before, during the whole interim of GoBots, and that's what the whole episode was about. It was Transformers versus GoBots and which one really won in the end, which we know the answer, of course, because Transformers is the one that exists today. So during that whole interview over Zoom, I went and grabbed one of my Generation 1 Transformers that still had a working rub symbol, and I rubbed my finger on it, and it's like you put your hand there, you get pressure, and you get it's like heat activated, and you show off the Transformer, and it shows the Decepticon symbol, and it was a whole commercial about only we have the right to bear this symbol, the Autobots and Decepticons, and they, literally, the guy's interview, in the interview was just it was like a face drop. So, if you watch the Toys That Built America and they use a Titan's Return hardhead, which is kind of one of those things where it's not a G1 bot that they use, but it was really for the reenactment purpose of it. And it was literally the jaw drop. And I was just and it was me saying, only we. I was just that was a really cool moment, in the episode. And that was kind of littered throughout it. They flew me up to New York City and I was there for a couple of days. I went in for the interview, and then they flew me back home the next day. And it was an hour, a little over an hour and a half that I was in the studio. And they used maybe snippets of that interview. And it seems like some of the questions that they asked me and that I answered, they spliced other people's responses of the same question into it. So it was like all of us that were involved. I believe Dan Larson was in the episode. And so it was really, really cool to see that. You know, I watched it. I had my parents there. And one of the moments I will never, ever forget, one of the things that just kind of like made me proud as a dad was my daughter. Like, I had my parents there, my wife's there, my kids are there. And the first time I pop up in the episode is about 5 minutes into it. And my daughter recognized me right away. She's like, "Daddy!" And I was like, wow. I didn't even recognize myself. I'm gonna be straight. I did not recognize myself during that part of the episode. So it was like, wait, I'm on TV. And I know for some of you, you know, you watch YouTube in your living room or on your home TVs. So I am in your living room, but you know, like for me, that was a surreal moment. And it was kind of cool. It was really, really cool. And, you know, for all that it's worth, I mean, for what the episode, you know, did, it accomplished, it told the story of who won the robot war. And I think it did a pretty good job of it. I think it was much better than the Netflix special, for sure. Anyhow, with all that going on and with getting prepared for that and doing different things, getting things prepared for my trip to TFCon, which was, I knew that I was going to be bringing tubs down. I was trying to get in contact with people I was going to meet up with all the other YouTubers like Patriot Prime and Fire Talks and Engineer Hoist and Norbs. And I mean, our group has gotten, you know, so large, you know, Deluxe and Kato and I mean, I'm going to, miss a lot of names there, Treebot. So it was just, I was looking forward to meeting it, you know, to meeting them again and getting together with them and hanging out. Even though we do so on our live streams, it's like when you get to hang out with each other in person, it's just that much more enjoyable. You get to see your friends again. And that's like kind of how we view it. Like whenever we go to these conventions together, it's like we've become such a tight-knit group of friends. And we wanted to stress that for everybody, that like, okay, you watch our videos and you enjoy watching us enjoy Transformers, you know, online. You go to like these conventions and everybody gets to hang out with each other and everybody gets to, you know, experience and see their joy on their faces when they see the different Transformers figures out there and get to talk to other people and talk to other YouTubers and, you know, or voice actors and everything. Like, yeah, you kind of really look forward to it. So unfortunately, because of the real life world events that were happening, the person who was going to end up being my roommate was, you know, ended up having to cancel. And he's like, I could pay for the room for you, you know, whatever. And it's like, don't worry about it. You know, Fire Talks actually helped me out because he had booked a room and he was going to room with Treebot. But Treebot, because he had an injury, had to, you know, he came to the convention with his mom and they ended up getting another hotel room. So I ended up rooming with Fire Talks and it all ended up working out, which was really cool. Now, Fire Talks and Hoist had a booth. They were selling their wares and they were selling their 3D prints and everything that they had, figures and what have you. And the rule is that you went to Hoist's booth and you said to him, "Wreck and Rule," and he ended up giving you a free hammer that's 3D printed, and it's the Wrecker symbol on there, which is very, very cool, and is something that I'm probably going to use for, you know, Impactor or maybe Bulkhead. You know, it's going to be cool to have, like, those figures have that hammer whenever they want to use it. And while I was there, I also brought along with me to show off my customized Earthrise Megatron, which, you know, maybe I should do a video, maybe like a short or something like that of like kind of showing the 360 of the figure and transformed and everything. You know, it's with a different 3D head, but I wanted to show the figure off, so I was showing that there. And I was also bringing with me 3 bins worth of Transformers. I ended up selling enough to actually empty it to make it now 2 bins. I was selling off my Unicron trilogy figures and my some of my early Chug stuff. It was just like, it's time for it to go. It's time for these figures to go by the wayside. And, you know, for a lot of fans that really want them, make them very, very happy because they're in good condition. My deal was, as I said, look it up on eBay so you know around what people are selling it for, and then make me a deal. And hey, you know what? That worked. So I sold off my Micron Legend Shockwave, which is the purple tidal wave figure. Also, speaking of this Megatron, when I met Aaron Archer, first I met him in person like the night of, like when we got there on Friday night. And then I took this picture as I was talking to Proto Man, and I put the figure in front of Aaron Archer's Armada Megatron, as you can see in this picture here. And I just had to do that. Like, it was just kind of one of those things where, you run into him and he's gonna end up seeing the figure, and it's like check out my G1 style Megatron. Like, and he's like, wow, that is really cool. Because he's seen the Earthrise Megatron before, and a lot of people have, and it's like everybody said like how much detail was put into this. So that was kind of neat. And of course, I'm running into Gary Chalk again, and like he knows me by first name at this point. Him and his PR manager Candace, who is a sweetheart, absolutely lovely lady. And Richard Newman was awesome. David Sobolov was cool to run into. I had a nice conversation with Bob Budiansky because, it's like I told Bob, I was like, I'm keep running into you in places. And it's like, yeah, you're probably going to be one where I remember. Because Bob runs into so many people. It's like, he's like, do I remember you? And it's like, now, of course, he's like, actually, remember me, which is really cool. I spoke to the 2 stunt drivers for the Michael Bay films, and we talked about our love for the franchise and how those guys are actually like really big G1 fans. So I thought that was really cool. Dan Gilvezan, was nice to see him again. My adoration for him as the voice of G1 Bumblebee. But again, you still see all those voice actors, but I was really happy to see all the other YouTubers that I'm friends with and how we all got together. I ended up running into TJ Omega, and, he's a cool guy. If you get to, talk to him, and, he ended up giving these 3D printed Cyber Planet keys, which are working, so I think I still have a few Cybertron figures left. So yes, it will work with one of them. Will work with any of the Cybertron characters in Legacy. I think they've made a slot for Override. I wonder if they're going to start using some more, make sure that the Cyber Planet key slot is there for those fans. The other thing I ended up picking up was the non-F kit for Point Blank, which actually puts the parts back in place that he's missing, because that was axed from it was cut from the budget for the Legacy figure for Point Blank. And I got the non-F kit for Crankcase. So, and they also had the guns, they were giving them away for free. They had a bunch of them. There were like a bunch of different blasters. So if you have any Transformers that are missing, guns, you can always utilize one of them, which is really, really cool. And I was telling them, was like, yeah, I used your kits along with Toy Hacks for a lot of the stuff that I do for customs. And he was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it's like, which kind of give me a little plug here. I'm going to say Spookamus for the rest of October will get you a 15% discount off of, your order of Toy Hacks. So if you want to use my code Spookamus from now until October 31st, which I think is really cool. So we were going around and saw so many people. I ran into so many fans of my channel, and it really made my day. I gotta say, I was blown away by I can't express my gratitude enough to those of you who were willing to see me, to talk to me. The night of, there was a young kid who came up to me and he said, "You give me the strength to be confident." I was like, man, it hit me like right here. He was such a nice kid. Really, stand up for yourself. You can do it. Your parents were there. Your parents were there for you. And I dang well, you give me the confidence to want to continue making content, make Transformers content for everybody. Really, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. There was another person, another father who was there with his 2 sons, who started a YouTube channel, and they are just getting their start. They decided to interview me. It was just so many people and so much fun I had, and I'm trying to recover basically, because my voice, you could probably tell, is still kind of hoarse from it. But I just shooting from the hip with this. There was a kid that took a screenshot of us, and of all of us, different Transformers YouTubers, because we were all together on a live stream. and brought it to us for us to sign. I was like, you want my signature? Okay. You know, and he took his picture. His parents were there. We were talking with them. So like, yeah, like I was just blown away by so many people that were happy to see me, to meet me. And, you know, we had a lot of long conversations, you know, hung out with TJ Omega, hang out with Treebot and Patriot Prime and Bert. Speaking of which, I sold Treebot my Energon Shock Blast. And I said, the only caveat is that you buy that, you take my Armada Sideswipe with you. So he took the Armada Sideswipe. And Bert has never played with that figure before. I hate that figure. A lot of people hate that figure. Well, he's like, this figure is terrible, but I'm having so much fun with it. And you have to understand Bert's sense of humor. He finds adult things to do with that figure that you can really think about if you think about the play features. And Treebot ended up buying a Armada Sideswipe and put it in Bert's bag for himself because of that fun. And that was absolutely hilarious. We had such a blast also with the panel, the YouTubers panel on Sunday. And I'm skipping over a lot. I'm just going back and forth with stuff. And I ended up taking my Earthrise Megatron. We ended up having him fight against Polar Claw, you know, Bert's Polar Claw figure. That was hysterical. That was great. A lot of people got a kick out of that. And I'm going to try and get the panel put up. You know, when I get a copy of it, I'll end up putting it up on the channel. So this way you guys can see the panel. And I think it'll be worth it for everybody to see because it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. You know, on Saturday night, I ended up selling a lot of my Transformers figures. I kind of talked about this before. It was like, but I sold so many of them that, you know, I was just really happy to sell them and see so many people who were just excited to see those Transformers. Is like, I'm getting this figure from Rodimus Primal. And so a lot of, you know, there were a couple of kids who ended up buying, they bought my Classics. 2 kids bought my Classics Armada Optimus and one bought the Classics Ultra Magnus figure together. And they took their picture with me. I wish I had gotten a picture myself of the two of them with those figures. So I think that was kind of worth it. And it was just really a lot of fun overall, you know. So much so that Monday I was exhausted. Like I couldn't speak. I was just like, I can't speak anymore. So where is this going from here? So if you hadn't noticed, like I haven't posted a lot of videos recently, and it's because I've been feeling down on myself. You know, I have a very little time to work on things as I should, and kind of been feeling not as, I don't know. It's just been very, very difficult. You know, you get that writer's block, you start feeling depressed, and, you know, but going to this convention, and of course my experience on the TV, has reinvigorated my love for the brand, and reinvigorated because it's really for those of you who really enjoy, you know, the content that I put out. I don't care about the haters anymore. I don't care if you hate my guts for some, just because I love Generation 1 or some other stupid reason. Where is this going? Well, I got a new retrospective script that I am working on, but I'm also working on a video. I'm hopefully to get it out by Halloween, and that will be based on Galvatron and Cyclonus and Scourge, and whether or not their personalities are a reflection of their former selves or not, and were they written that way. And it's going to be kind of like cool because since it is kind of a dark theme, I figured it would be appropriate for a Halloween themed episode. And I look forward to getting that episode out to you guys, hopefully by the 31st. And just so you know that why the theming of the video is the way that it is. You know, I look forward to getting that to you guys, getting more retrospectives done and more news videos and maybe some toy shorts and such. Like, I look forward to making Transformers content again. It's the best way that I could describe it to you. I look forward to getting more stuff to you. And for those of you who saw me at the convention, we're really happy about that. You've made my day. I was going to the convention hoping to express that to everybody, let's stop fighting each other over what our favorite part of the franchise is, and try to enjoy plastic robots together. That was the theme of the panel. Had TJ Omega up on there, Treebot, who started in the Bay films. Lazy Eyebrow was there. Lazy Eyebrow's a really cool guy. Bert and Jay or Patriot Prime and Norbs and Ghost Prime. Ghost Prime I got to meet for the first time, was a really cool guy. And it's just cool to see so many of you and enjoy that time together. I think that more Transformers fans should make it their purpose. Like, you don't feel like you got to be isolated. Know that, yeah, you're going to find a lot of us Transformers fans out there who are willing to just enjoy our experiences with these plastic robots together with you. There was a girl who was made a whole yearbook of having people sign it. And, we were signing it. We had a wonderful conversation, and I would absolutely love to see you at another Transformers convention and just say hi. And, that's kind of the cool things. It's like you run into a lot of these people. There was a girl who was sitting front row and watching me and Bert mess around on the panel. Was like, and she was laughing at that. That was great. That was awesome. And I can just go on and on. Mike Siebert was there, and Lyle Convoy was there, Lyle Convoy ended up getting me, having this piece of art for me, because you guys know I'm a Rodimus Prime fan. I also ended up picking up the Velocitron Scourge figure while I was there. And so I could maybe I might do a review for it. I mean, it's not really like one that people haven't reviewed. And I also ended up getting Tarn, which for Fire Talks, you'll know exactly. He'll understand why it was funny that I now have a Tarn figure. So you could tell, like, I had so much fun there, and that is something that I think that as Transformers fans, like, go onto the message boards where people are just enjoying talking about Transformers, and not in a negative way, and not to try and fight with each other over things. And yeah, there are continuity flubs that you can kind of go back and forth about, and there are things where you may not like or dislike a character. That's cool. Or dislike a certain continuity. Like, I don't like the Bay films, and yet here I am getting along with Treebot, who's a Bay fan. Those are the things that, like, you can get along with other people who enjoy Transformers with you. And when you go to these, you go to different message boards or places, look for the positive out of it. Look for the ones who are really trying to discuss things in a positive manner. And really make it your point to try to go to a Transformers convention. I can't stress that enough. Definitely, TFCon was definitely well worth it. Go to one of those, Transformers conventions, and not only get to see, like, all the different Transformers, but try to talk to other people. Don't be shy, and if you see your favorite YouTuber and you see someone talking to them or don't be afraid to come up to them. A lot of us are happy to talk to you. I'll say that much. I those that came up to me, I am grateful for every single one of you. And to those who were afraid, don't be. You don't need to be afraid to come up to me. I kind of one of those guys that just wears my heart on my sleeve, so to speak. And you can go to these conventions and you can even talk to the vendor. Like, you have a figure there on the table. Talk to the vendor about your favorite Transformer that he's selling, and talk about why you really enjoy that figure. And you'll see the eyes light up on a dealer that they are getting to talk to somebody who's buying something off of them about their favorite Transformer. Or talk to the voice actors. The voice actors, many of them, I've rarely had a negative experience in meeting a voice actor or a comic book artist when it comes down to the Transformers, and that is a positive experience. I can say, verily so. So much so that this is why I really recommend that you make it your business to try and get out and go to these conventions. And if you can't, enjoy the pictures. But you're still welcome. That's the thing. I wanted to make that a point, is that you're always welcome to be a Transformers fan. There are those of you who came into the franchise at different points, like Kay and Carlisle is an animated fan. I got to meet him. I got to run into Ultra Primal. I ran into, like, again, TJ Omega. It was like meeting those three for the first time. I met Ghost Prime for the first time, and Norbs in person for the first time. So, a lot of them, they were just as happy to express their love of Transformers to me and to others. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I've been rambling on for a while, but I want to say this. Thank you to each and every one of you who continue to make this channel grow. You're going to see a lot more Transformers content down the pipeline. So stay tuned for all of that. And as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.